welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a not so fun day to film this video for you guys. If you guys would subscribe, I'd appreciate it so much because lots of videos are still coming. They're just not what I thought they were going to be. I'm going to have to try to keep my emotions okay while filming this. Try not to cry. I've done already a lot of crying. First of all, I just want to say, if you do not like hearing about losses or miscarriages, things like that trigger you or affect you in any way, and I would go ahead and click off this video because that's what this video is going to be about, what I have been going through these past couple weeks. I am going to try to keep this video brief and to the point because I really haven't talked about it out loud too much. I have talked about it some, but not like sitting down in front of a camera recording this. December 9th, on my husband's birthday actually, I was supposed to be turning 12 weeks pregnant. So I was going to be announcing that we're expecting our third baby because I wanted to wait till I got to at least the end of the first trimester to announce. I was gonna announce on here. I had some stuff planned out. I had videos pre-filmed telling family members, us finding out that we're expecting. Had 3 doctor's appointments. I recorded every time I went to that. I had all of it ready to go after we were going to put that we are expecting on my channel. Things did not go like I expected. I was 10 weeks exactly when I was gonna go to my routine appointment at my office that I go to for my OBGYN. I was 10 weeks on November 25th, which is 2 days before Thanksgiving. I was super excited, was ready to go, had both kids with me actually this time because Noah was already out for Thanksgiving break from school. They were both really excited. Got there, did my vital stuff, you know, the routine, go leave a urine sample, get your blood pressure checked, your weight and everything like that checked, and then got sent into a room. Actually didn't think I was going to have to do another vaginal ultrasound, but they did go ahead and prep me for that. So I had to have the kids hide away behind the curtain, get undressed and stuff, and get on the table. We were waiting for a pretty long time. And she finally came in, which is my actual doctor, the actual doctor that runs the whole office. I am super thankful that it was her because I don't know if I could have handled it if it was somebody else that I don't know at the practice now, because there are a lot of faces that are unfamiliar to me. She went to do the ultrasound. She actually had Emma come onto the other side so she could see better because she's shorter, and my son was standing on this side of me beside the bed because he's tall enough to be able to see. Finally, everything kind of cleared to where you could see inside the sac and everything. When she did the ultrasound and finally I could kind of see the view of the baby, I kind of thought to myself, like that doesn't really look like what I thought it was going to look like at 10 weeks. I was kind of confused a little bit, but was like, oh, maybe just throwing me off because I haven't had a baby in almost 5 years exactly. Maybe it's just different, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of blocked it out of my mind. She kept zooming and zooming and just squinting like this at the screen, and I was recording the whole time all of this was going on my phone. Just kind of was looking at it too like, this is so odd because it doesn't even look more refined once it's really zoomed in. Didn't look like what I expected. She unfortunately had to give me the news that, I'm getting emotional, news that there was no heartbeat. And when she said those words, I was kind of in shock and stopped recording on my phone. Didn't really know what to say. I think my brain just went into shock mode of, is this even real? Is this happening right now? Of course, the kids are with me, so they're just looking at her, and she had to explain things to me really softly and make sure that the kids are not, you know, freaking out or anything. After she gave me all the news and stuff and got me to go ahead and get dressed and what the next steps are, made sure that the kids were okay. She actually asked them that if they're okay, and she was like, I'm gonna go leave the room, I'll meet you at the front desk. Kids went behind the curtain so I could get dressed again, and I held myself together until that point. And then once they went behind the curtain for me to get dressed, and I just started letting it out of the emotions. And then just crazy, the feeling that you felt alone, sad, and also like, why is this happening to me? Then I finally got dressed and told them to come on with me. Was waiting up front because I had to go to next steps, or go to a place called open imaging where we're located, and go ahead and have them do a vaginal ultrasound as well to confirm everything, and then come back to my office to go over everything, go over all the images. I had to stand there, make the phone call to my husband because he was at work while all this happened. Just kind of kept it short and to the point, and trying to hold myself together in front of the kids because they're staring at me while we're waiting. Got the stuff set up for the open imaging. To meet my husband at the house so that their kids' aunt could watch them while we go take care of all this. Long story short, we did the images. It was rough. Then went to go get something to eat, and then came back, and then went back to my doctor's place at do something to go confirm. Practically, I have really strong thoughts, and my doctor also has strong thoughts that this baby wasn't healthy enough. It wasn't growing properly. Heartbeat just stopped because it wasn't willing to keep growing because it wasn't strong enough and healthy enough. That is what happened, and he said I have two options: to naturally pass the baby or go get a procedure done, a DNC. I contemplated back and forth a lot between the two. With my risk of high blood pressure and the fact that 4 weeks from that date is pretty much Christmas Eve, I decided to go ahead and go with the DNC procedure. He said that she had Wednesday available and Friday of that same week. Wednesday was the day before Thanksgiving, November 26th, and then the 28th was Friday. So I decided to go with the Wednesday because we had family things going on back to back anyways, either way. I went to the hospital, got prepped, went through pre-op, got into a little area with a curtain where I got, the whole head thing, the gown, brought back to the OR, got a spinal block done, which they did give the other option of going to sleep, but I'm a little weird about that, and I had also eaten too late in the day for them to do the whole anesthesia, put me to sleep. They went ahead with the spinal block. I was awake for the whole procedure. I'm not going to go into too many details about that because I'm not really ready to talk about that, but you can look up what a DNC is yourself and see what it all involves, practically to get the baby out so that it doesn't stay in the body and cause an infection or cause sepsis. That part was really, really hard on me. Everybody was so nice that was in the room with me, making sure I was okay, comfortable, not in any pain. My doctor came in to perform it. It was very short and to the point, which is good. She said that everything went successful and then went ahead and left. They got me out of the room, and let me tell you, if you are gonna have a DNC procedure, let me tell you, I would highly, highly recommend bringing really, really warm socks, because when you come out of there, or when you're like 2/3, maybe halfway through the procedure, you literally start freezing so bad. I did have thick socks on, but I could have had like a second pair, if I'm being honest. They had to do an IV bag of antibiotics, and that burned my arm so bad. It hurt so bad. I literally kept saying to the anesthesiologist, like, is this normal? It's burning super bad all up my arm. She ended up hanging a bag of saline to push with the antibiotics, and then it finally started calming down and feeling better. After all that, they wheeled me to a separate area to kind of take about 20 minutes or so to recover on my own, to make sure I could move better, before wheeling me to the other side where my husband could join me. They finally did that. They brought him back, and of course, when I saw him, emotions flood in and everything like that. I recovered there, and since I had the spinal block, it does make you really numb, because that's all in one shot of numbing you waist down instead of an epidural that's continuous and slow. Go through that, and then I had to go ahead and be able to pee before I got discharged. We did not even leave the hospital till, like, I kid you not, almost 8 o'clock at night before Thanksgiving. Then had to go do family things. Thursday, 2 sides. All I'm gonna say is, you do go through things when you go through this. You will bleed, which, thank God that I didn't until late Thursday night, because if I would have started doing that right after the procedure, I don't think there would be any way that we would have made it to any sides for Thanksgiving. When they tell you that it's awful and it feels like you just gave birth and things like that, it is not a lie. That is pretty much accurate. It hurts so bad. Also was feeling some major discomfort in my back the day after the procedure because of the spinal block. I started feeling back pain throughout after that as well. Then it kind of started hurting like in my bladder. It's really awful, to say the least, of that part of it. My husband had to help me go to the bathroom several times during the night because the numbness was still trying to wear off. The pain had set in majorly. The cramping really does feel like you're kind of somewhat just had a baby and you're trying to recover in similar ways. That started, I took Friday to rest a lot and recover because we again had Saturday plans with family to celebrate Thanksgiving late. Went through all that, went through the holidays trying to be okay and grieving at the same time and going through pain, trying to recover. Baby's heart actually stopped at, I believe, 9 weeks, pretty much exactly. It wasn't too long that it happened before I went to my appointment. I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything because the baby was going to be expected in possibly June of 2026. I almost made it 3 whole months with being pregnant again with our third baby. Symptoms were very strong when I was expecting. The pregnancy tests were very positive, like blazing positive. The shock of this is kind of a lot. Things have died off already. My smelling has went down kind of. Symptoms that I was having, like chest-wise, has stopped. Stomach goes through a lot during this process. My stomach was actually getting decently good sized already because it is my third baby. That whole thing has been weird, fluctuating. It's trying to go back to normal now. My stomach was very bloated the night of the procedure being done and the day after. My sickness, that's one thing that I do look back on and kind of feel like that did get affected because the baby wasn't growing properly, like I was saying, because I wasn't throwing up as much as I did with my other 2 children. I just thought that this baby was different. Maybe I got lucky this time with nausea. I just genuinely think it's because stuff wasn't growing right, stuff wasn't properly happening with the pregnancy. I think the strangest of all of this is just going through the emotions, realizing that things are not going to be, like you thought they were going to be anymore. Stomach fluctuation of everything, of swelling and going down and, trying to find its balance again of what it was before. Emotions and hormones. You do actually kind of go through somewhat of like the blues after you deliver, kind of in a way, similar. Because after the procedure that night, at some point, it did hit me like a huge wave of emotions, kind of like what you feel after you give birth. So that was pretty crazy to me too. I'm just gonna take each day by day, moving forward. I'm fully allowing myself to grieve, be emotional through the things because I don't want to hold it in and then, it become into like depression or anything like that, because I know that is such a scary place to be at. I'm just gonna pray a lot to go through time and heal. I don't think that we will be trying again for a while because I did stay off of my birth control for 9 months and we finally found out we were expecting. So I think we're gonna just give it a break for now. Let me get fully healed, better emotionally wise, healthy, and then possibly try again. But unfortunately, in the back of my mind, I do have fear a little bit, and I just really hope that this was the one time that this will happen to me. I will say my heart does go out to all of you that has a hard time conceiving, has fertility problems, has had miscarriages, or even being stillbirths as well, because I can't even imagine going through that either. That is just awful. That is all I had to talk about today. I hope you guys found this video a little bit helpful, maybe if you're going through similar things or about to go through similar things, trying to figure this out, or next steps of what even happens after that happens to yourself. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, And if you haven't already, turn the bell notification on so you know when I upload my videos. And I'll see you guys in my next video.